Hello and welcome to the Days of Donizetti, a wonderful opportunity for us to get to know the music and introduce you to the composer of our upcoming production of The Elixir of Love, the Italian composer Gaetano Donizetti. Today, we start off by introducing you to arguably the most important and biggest musical influence on this young composer, his teacher, mentor, and lifelong friend, Johann Simon Mayr. It is not an overstatement to say that we really wouldn't have The Elixir of Love, nor anything really done by Donizetti, without this first teacher. This German composer started a free music school in Bergamo known as the Lezioni Caritatevoli, at the church in Bergamo known as the Santa Maria Maggiore. This was Gaetano's family church, and he lived less than 2 blocks away. Mayr's goal for starting this school was simple: improve the musical quality at the church. Well, the third name on the first ever roster of the first ever class of these lezioni was none other than an 8-year-old Gaetano Donizetti. He was enrolled at the school to study voice and harpsichord, and later studied theory and harmony with Mayr. The German composer immediately saw an immense talent and ambition in the young musician and encouraged him in his studies any way he could. Now, whereas Donizetti's vocal training didn't go so well, his piano and composition study did. Mayr would subversively, I guess you could say, keep the young composer in the school by giving him smaller roles, singing roles in productions during the school year, particularly in an 1811 performance of a small little opera known as Il piccolo compositore di musica, which means the young composer of music, quite literally referring to Donizetti. In fact, he wrote it for him. The whole point of that show was to convince the faculty that Donizetti should be kept at the school regardless of how he's doing in his voice lessons. Mayr also supported Donizetti's education by exposing him to the world of chamber music. He was a strong violist and one of the first in Italy to thoroughly study the works of Viennese masters, Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven. Musical gatherings at a friend's house allowed the young Donizetti to absorb this chamber music, to learn these structures and forms, and to gain a great proficiency in writing for string instruments. We can see this clearly because Donizetti wrote over 15 different string quartets in his young years from 1817 to 1821, right around the time he was writing his first operas. Not only that, Mayr also supported him in other ways. He wrote him letters of recommendation to further his studies in Bologna with the famous music teacher Padre Stanislao Mattei. He gave him money for these voyages to study, and he continued to correspond and support Gaetano from afar. Without Mayr, we wouldn't have Donizetti. Without Donizetti, we don't have The Elixir of Love. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow on the next Day of Donizetti.